The Cubs appear to have solved their offensive woes, scoring 16 runs since arriving in the Mile High City. Throw in some solid starting pitching and bullpen support, and you have the perfect recipe for another W. It's another perfect evening for Cubs baseball here in Denver, Colorado. A lot of fans piling in. Just a gorgeous night, and we're set for Cubs baseball here on Comcast Sportsnet. And the Cubs look for their third consecutive win. They have not lost to the Rockies all year. Cubs and the Rockies in Game 3 of this 4-game weekend set. Welcome to Cubs baseball. Bob Brenly and Len Casper with you. The offensive surge has been fun to watch, particularly from the corner outfielders.
Yeah, you know, Len, when Alfonso Soriano went to the disabled list and later Aramis Ramirez with his wrist injury, we wondered where the production was going to come from. A lot of guys have contributed, but these two have really carried the load offensively, each hitting a home run in the ball game last night.
And Matt Merton with 3 home runs over his last 4 games. A lineup the same 1 through 8. Derek Lee has had a slow trip offensively, but maybe he can get on track tonight.
Well, he's facing a guy that he's had great success against in the past, so hopefully that'll be what it takes to get Derek Lee jump-started. A .414 career average against Josh Fogg, including a couple of home runs and 7 RBI.
Speaking of Josh Fogg, he has made 19 career starts against the Cubs, the most starts he's made against any opponent. So Cubs are pretty familiar with him, and got to get some runs for Rich Hill.
Yeah, Rich Hill has pitched really well lately. Both these guys coming off a no decision in their last start. Rich Hill gave up 1 run, a solo home run. Josh Fogg gave up 2, both solo home runs.
So we're set to go, and Rich Hill trying to follow up back-to-back quality starts from Lilly and Marquis. We'll have Cubs baseball next.
It's the Chevy Model Year-End event, and now we're making it easy for you to choose your new Chevy. Just click and go to find great offers on 07 cars, trucks, and SUVs online 24/7. But you've got to decide. Then get to your dealer before yours is gone at the Chevy Model Year-End event. Get a Chevy crossover, an 07 Equinox LS all-wheel drive starting at $19,865 after cash back. Click on ChevyDriveChicago.com. Then see your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealer.
Hot, sticky weather is here. You can try to cool yourself this way, or go to the experts at QC Auto Service Centers. They'll keep you cool, calm, and happy all summer long. The highly trained and certified technicians at QC Auto Service Centers will check it out and fix it right the first time.
Hotter than a collar? Don't sweat it. Come see us.
The place to go for air conditioning service. QC Auto Service Centers, keeping you on the road.
So, you're a green person, but which shade? Confusing, isn't it? Well, True Values Color Made Simple can help. With exclusive tools, trained professionals, and expert advice, finding your color will always be simple. Now let's talk purple. True Values Color Made Simple.
Meeting the challenge since 1940.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by Chevy. Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today at ChevyDriveChicago.com. Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. Your local area Lexus dealer who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Rico, how well do you print, copy, scan, fax? How well do you share? Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, shining through. Cadillac, Life, Liberty, and The Pursuit. And by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest is taking low fares farther. Visit southwest.com.
Beautiful evening starting an hour earlier tonight, so the sun and the shadows could be a factor in the early innings. And let's check in on the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. If you have been with us the last couple of nights, you hopefully have memorized 1 through 8. No change at all. The only change, that 9th hole, Rich Hill, batting .119 with 2 doubles.
Take a look at the Rockies defensively for Clint Hurdle tonight. Holiday in left, Spielborg's in center, Hoppover in right field. Ian Stewart Playing third base tonight, Troy Tulowitzki at shortstop, Kaz Matsui at second, Garrett Atkins over at first base tonight. Yorbi Torrealba doing the catching for the veteran right-hander Josh Fogg.
And we're underway. First pitch, fastball at 88 for a strike on Ryan Theriot. 20th start of the year for Josh Fogg. And again, his 20th career outing against the Chicago Cubs.
You saw those numbers against Josh Fogg's. Lefties hitting .257, right-handers hitting .311. A generality, when you see a right-hander that has those kind of numbers against right-handed hitting, it's usually because he doesn't have a devastating breaking ball. He does throw a big over-the-top curve. He'll throw an occasional cutter, but doesn't really have that breaking ball to neutralize right-handed hitters like he should.
Theriot with a rare off night last night, 0 for 5, but getting .348 on the road trip as a leadoff hitter with Alfonso Soriano on the disabled list. Torrealba setting up shop toward the inside corner, and it's dunked foul. Back out of play by Theriot. Still 1-2. Cubs a half game back of the Milwaukee Brewers in the National League Central. The Brewers are in Houston and trailing 1-0 in the third inning. Also picking up a half game in the wild card because the Padres lost. Cubs are in fourth, but just a game and a half back. Reds beat the Padres today in Cincinnati 8-3. Cardinals won. So they're 6 behind Milwaukee. 5.5 back of the Cubs for second. Another 1-2 pitch and another foul. This has become an excellent battle. 7 pitches already.
This gets back to what I said momentarily ago about Josh Fogg. Just doesn't seem to have that put away pitch. Doesn't strike out a lot of guys. Would prefer that the opposing hitters put the ball in play early in the count. There's a good curveball right there for a called strike 3. Looking at his pitch charts from last time out against the Brewers, he got hurt a lot on off-speed pitches up in the zone.
Check in on that gorgeous weather. 91 degrees. But as I look at a lot of the forecasts and the low humidity, you know, it'll say 91 degrees feels like 87. So it's almost like a wind chill. Marvin Hudson will call the balls and strikes. Jones taps it back to Fogg. Gets the easy out. Well, even with that out, Jock's still 9 for his last 13 on this trip. In a game in St. Louis today, the Cardinals beat the Dodgers 6-1. Rick Ankiel hit second playing right field. Went 3 for 4 with 2 home runs, 9 total bases. He is slugging 1,167.
And made a great running sliding catch at the warning track to rob extra bases. What a great story, Rick Ankiel. Sure, it'll be a movie of the week at some point in the near future. Good for him.
1-1 on Derek Lee. We talked about his great numbers against Josh Fogg. 12 for 29, 4 doubles and 2 home runs.
You know, and in an odd kind of way, that first pitch out by Jock Jones kind of nullified the good at bat by Ryan Theriot. Theriot forced Fogg to throw a lot of pitches to get the out, and Jock Jones comes up and makes an out on the first pitch. It was a pitch he thought he could handle. Unfortunately, just hit the top part of the ball and tapped it back to the mound, but it kind of took the luster off of Ryan Theriot's at bat.
Tonight's starter on the bench, hoping his team can give him a couple of runs before he takes the mound. Rockies all thought that was strike 3.
That's the same pitch he threw to Ryan Theriot for strike 3. That slider that kind of starts inside off the corner, tries to work it back to the corner.
We've seen crowds of over 40,000 in each of the first 2 games, but I have a feeling this is going to be the biggest attendance of the weekend. The reason I say that, you see that upper deck in right, way up there in the back part of that section. There was nobody the last 2 nights. When the far reaches of the ballpark are filled, you know it's going to be a huge crowd. Good start for Derek Lee tonight.
Not sure who grunted there, whether it was Josh Fogg on the pitch or Derek Lee on the swing, but somebody grunted in the midst of that delivery, and Derek Lee rifles one back up the middle for a base hit.
Now the red-hot redhead, Matt Merton, a 5-game hitting streak. 3 home runs in his last 4 games, including 1 last night. Scored twice. Had 3 hits. Off the plate on a breaking ball. 1-0 on Merton.
And one of his home runs deep to left field, and the other one coming the opposite way, a couple rows up over the out-of-town scoreboard in right field.
It's not easy to be a big league manager. I'm sure you could tell me that over and over again as we check out the Merton home run.
A little surprising last night. Looked like a high fly ball to right field, but just did get it up there over the out-of-town scoreboard.
But in the case of Lou Piniella here the last 2 days, pretty easy to ride out the lineup. It's been good, so he's just going to stick with it.
I joked with Alan Trammell, is the printer broken? I mean, you just don't see the same lineup 3 days in a row for a Lou Piniella managed team, but because of injuries and his policy of riding the hot hand, why change?
It's 3-0 on Merton. Make it 3-1. Well, you could think about sending Derek Lee here because Matt's seeing the ball so well and he's a pretty patient hitter. We'll see what the Cubs do. DeRosa on deck. Quick throw to first, and the Rockies thinking the same thing. That's going to be a challenge at throw for the first baseman here early on.
Oh, absolutely. Looking right back up into the sun. There's some areas over on the third base side of the field where that sun peeks through under one deck and above another, and it's going to be a battle for that right side.
There's ball 4. And I noticed on that pickoff attempt the throw is extremely low, and I bet that was by design. I'm sure Garrett Atkins told Josh Fogg, if you're going to send a pickoff attempt over here, don't throw it high. Won't have any chance to see it.
And you may see the same thing from throws coming from third base and even deep in the hole at shortstop. Those figure to be the angles that are going to give the first baseman the most trouble.
Atkins playing first base because Todd Helton's still day-to-day with the back spasms, and Jeff Baker, who was inadvertently beamed last night by Jason Marquis, has been placed on the disabled list. He has been diagnosed with a mild concussion, and unfortunately the CT scans of his head, neck, and face all came back negative. Jason did make a call over to the Rockies clubhouse after the ballgame last night. Was unable to speak directly to Baker because of the tests he was having done, but Jason told me before the game he hopes to speak with Baker at some point this weekend. And completely unintentional. Pitch really got away from Jason, and it would end up being the last pitch he would throw last night. He gave up 1 unearned run and got the win.
Now, Jason said he felt like he could have pitched further into the ball game, but I think it was a good move by Lou Piniella to get him out of there. He was visibly upset out there on the mound, as you might expect.
And with Atkins at first base, Ian Stewart, one of their top prospects, making his major league debut tonight. That'll be into left, and it's a base hit. Derek Lee has to be held. Matt Holliday has a very good arm and a good throw back into the cutoff man Stewart. And the bases are loaded. All this happening with 2 outs.
And good to see a couple of guys who haven't jumped on the bus here recently, this offensive surge. Derek Lee and Mark DeRosa both had been getting their base hits, but not really driving the ball with authority. D. Lee's base hit to center field was a rocket line drive, and now DeRosa with a line drive into left field.
So it's Fontenot batting, and all of a sudden Josh Fogg's pitch counts up to 25. You mentioned that great first at bat by Terrio, but at one point Fogg had a chance to get out of the inning with about 12 or 13 pitches. Did I just hear a Fogg horn?
That's what it sounded like.
I haven't heard it all weekend. I would assume it's the Josh Fogg fan club in attendance. That's low, 2-0. Jason Kendall with back-to-back 3-hit games in this series waits on deck. Now the 2-0 taken all the way. That was a pitcher's strike. 2-1.
That's a good take by a young hitter right there. That 2-0 count doesn't mean necessarily you have to swing at a strike. It has to be a strike that you're looking for, and normally in those counts you look for something middle of the plate in that you can really drive hard.
Another good take, 3-1, and now Fogg has to throw a strike. We're hearing the Cub fans right now, and there are a lot of them in this park. You can hear them chanting, "Let's go Cubbies." 3-1 to Fontenot. Ball 4, and the Cubs take the lead on a bases-loaded walk. What great patience by Mike Fontenot.
And I'll say it again, and for a young player to go to the plate in that situation and be patient enough to lay off those borderline pitches and take the walk to drive home a run, that really is remarkable. Most kids Mike Fontenot's age would go up there hacking at the first thing they see, trying to drive in some runs, but takes the base on balls. Josh Fogg still in trouble out there on the mound, and now Jason Kendall, another very patient hitter, will get an opportunity.
Bob Apodaca with a few words for Josh Fogg, who's now thrown 30 pitches. 4 straight Cubs have reached base after 2 are out. And here's Jason Kendall hitting .317 as a Cub. 6 hits already in the series. High for ball 1. Kendall has always hurt the Rockies. He's a career .376 hitter against the Rockies. It's going all the way back to his Pirates days. .389 in this ballpark and 113 at bats. Fogg really laboring. The 1-1 pitch. 2-1.
In a somewhat narrow strike zone here to start the ball game for Marvin Hudson behind the plate. And Josh Fogg is not the kind of pitcher that can afford to throw the ball over the big part of the plate very often. He needs to nibble around the edges and change speeds and try to keep the ball down. Good cut by Jason Kendall that time, fouled it straight back into the mask of Torey Alba.
Really rubbing up that baseball. Deep breath by Fogg. This has been a tough inning. 2 singles, 2 walks, and now 2-2 on Kendall. Kick and the pitch. There's a foul.
Yeah, we talked about the strike zone behind the plate. Remember, Ryan Terrio got called out on a slider on the inside part of the plate for a called strike 3. Later, Derek Lee takes what appeared to be the same pitch. It was not called a strike, and then D. Lee came through with the base hit up the middle. opening up the door for a long inning for Josh Fogg. This next pitch will be his 36th of the top of the first.
Bases loaded, a run in. Here it comes. And it's full, and Torrealba had that ball carry him right out of the catcher's box.
You know, somebody might have to carry Torrealba home at the end of this season. The most games he's ever played in a major league season are 66. This is his 78th ball game of the season, and with no logical backup in sight, he's going to do most of the catching for the Rockies in the second half of the season. He is going to be a tired puppy.
All the runners will be on the move. There they go. The 3-2 pitch. Little roller to Stewart. He'll throw to first, and the inning is over. The Cubs do get a run on the bases loaded walk. High stress inning for Josh Fogg. Rich Hill will go to work when we return.
More bars in more places. That's what you can expect from the new AT&T. The largest digital voice and data network in America. More bars in more places. So switch to the network you can trust. Singular's name is now AT&T. Your world delivered.
At Dell, we believe the 25 million small businesses in America deserve something more. So we're introducing Dell Vostro, customized systems, services, and expertise designed just for small business. PCs with no trialware, just the software you want. And they can be powered by Intel Core 2 Duo processors to keep you up and running fast. Plus the reassurance of Dell's new 30-day worry-free guarantee. New Dell Vostro, proof that we believe in small business.
The odds you'll catch Mother Nature on one of her bad days? Nine to 1. The LR3, created for the one. Visit your local Land Rover Center now for limited time, model year, end lease and finance offer.
Let's check in on Clint Hurdle's Southwest starting lineup. Willie Taveras again day-to-day. Played last night, but the quad injury may keep him out the rest of the series. So it's Matsui, Tulowitzki, Holiday, Atkins, Spilborgh's Hop, Torrealba, Stewart, and Fogg. And again, no Todd Helton tonight.
And if this looks familiar, it's because it's the same lineup Lou Piniella has run out there the last two nights. Brought to you by Rico. Move your ideas forward with Rico dependability. Merton, P.A. Jones across the outfield. Jero Soterio, Fontenot, Lee across the infield. Jason Kendall behind the dish for the left-hander Rich Hill. Boy, Rich was real good his last time out against the Houston Astros. Went 7 strong innings, gave up only 3 hits and 1 run, came away with a no decision. The Cubs ended up dropping that ball game in 10 innings, 2-1.
And he continues to get paltry run support. And he's been on the mound. 3.27, the worst in the major leagues. There's a tapper by Matsui. Hill off the mound. He'll fire and get him. Nice job by Rich Hill, who can be pretty deliberate in those situations. And knew he didn't have a ton of time.
Yeah, Rich can be real deliberate fielding those balls when he has to come off the mound, either on a swinging bunt like this or a legitimate bunt. Took him 3 or 4 steps to gather his weight and then turn and throw to first base, back into the baseline a little bit. Nice play by Derek Lee at the other end.
There's Troy Tulowitzki, the shortstop. Knocked in 2 last night. In fact, Rockies only scored 2 runs. They had 30 runs in their last 2 games against Milwaukee. Blooped into center, and it's going to drop for a hit in front of Felix P.A. The Rockies in this series so far just 4 runs combined.
We talk about cheap home runs at Coors Field. That's one of the cheap base hits that you'll see a lot more of here at Coors Field because Felix P.A. is playing so deep in center field. That little broken bat floater drops in front. You talk to pitchers who have pitched any number of games in this ballpark, and they'll say those are the kind of base hits that hurt you a lot more than the altitude-aided home runs. Or I guess elevation-aided home runs.
You hear the word elevation a lot here in altitude. 1-0 the count on Matt Holliday, and he takes it low. So we showed you the number by run support. 3 per start is what Rich Hill's getting. Second worst in the National League. If you add up all of his innings and when he has been on the mound, Cubs giving him just over 3 at 3.27, and by far the worst. Doug Davis, the second worst run support. He's with Arizona, 3.51. And that does take its toll on a starting pitcher. You know, you have to be very fine. You don't have much margin for error. And for Rich Hill, he continues to deal no decision after no decision. 4 in a row, in fact, coming in. Cubs have done a great job against Matt Holliday and Garrett Atkins. Holliday with 92 RBIs, Atkins with 82, but they have combined for 0 in the first 2 games. Holliday right behind Hanley Ramirez in the batting race, and there's a walk. One pitch the Cubs would like to see Rich use more often, and it's one Jason Kendall really likes, is his changeup. And feeling we might see that a little bit more tonight, especially with guys like Holliday and Atkins.
Yeah, and this is a good ballpark to work on your straight changeup as opposed to the big over-the-top curveball. We've talked about the thin air here in Denver. Breaking balls just don't seem to take the break quite as well as they do at sea level. So if you've got another off-speed pitch you can go to, especially against those right-handed hitters, this would be the game to break it out.
Pop up on the infield, caught by Derek Lee for the second out.
You know, Len, one adjustment you can make if you're trying to throw breaking balls here at this ballpark is to take a little velocity off of the pitch. Talked about it briefly. Ted Lilly did a real nice job in the first game of this series. His curveball was 2 to 3 miles an hour slower than he would normally throw it, and was getting pretty much the same break. The velocity was a little shorter, but the break was still very good.
Ted was a little gassed yesterday after a season-high 127 pitches Friday night. He had to work hard, got the win, 6 innings, 2 runs. One ball, no strikes on Ryan Spilborghs. Like the Cubs, the Rockies are off Monday, and with Willie Taveras back in that day-to-day mode with a quad, we may not see him tomorrow. Rolled into right, that's a base hit. Tulowitzki's going to try to score. Here comes a throw, and it's late, right on the money by Jock Jones, but not in time, and it's a tie game, 1-1.
Goes down and gets that pitch and lines it through the right side of the infield. Good strong throw this time by Jock Jones, right on the money to Jason Kendall. Unfortunately, with 2 outs, Tulowitzki got a big jump out there at second base and scored easily, but very accurate throw that time.
Now the right fielder Brad Hopp, runners at first and third.
What was that? You see Jason Kendall kind of paused before he threw the ball back to Rich Hill. They thought they had strike 1 right there on Brad Hopp. Flip a coin, Marvin. This is the kind of strike zone tonight that'll drive pitchers and hitters crazy, because it'll be called a strike on one pitch and the very next pitch be called a ball. Saw with Terrio and Derek Lee in the first inning for the Cubs. We saw it here on the first 2 pitches to Brad Hopp in this inning.
Nine balls, just 6 strikes for Rich Hill, make it 7. And a swing and a miss by Hopp. 2-2 the count. Each team with a run here in the first. And in both cases, a 2-out run. Called strike 3 on the slow breaker. Rockies get 1 on 2 hits. They leave 2. It's 1-1 after 1.
The road to happiness. There's a lot of temptation out there.
In my hand is a little piece of heaven, and it's practical.
Nice. Come on, $9 grand. This won't make you happy. It'll end up buried in your closet. Put your money in an orange savings account. It won't go out of fashion, then you'll feel better about yourself. $9 grand.
Sorry.
High interest, no fees, no minimums. Next thing you know, there's more money than when you started. And you're right back on the road to happiness.
During the Pontiac Summer Sell Down, you can get more than just some sun. Get more horsepower than any import under 18 grand. And still get 33 on the highway. Get more horsepower and better highway fuel economy than Scion TC. And with every 2007 Pontiac, you get more coverage than anyone in America.
During the Pontiac Summer Sell Down, choose 0 APR or $3,000 total customer cash on any 2007 Torrent. Hurry, inventory limited. For more information, visit PontiacDrive.com.
Try Arby's new toasted subs. Whether it's the French dip and twist, the classic Italian, turkey bacon club, or the Philly beef, they're toasted to perfection, and they'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
I'm Ryan Sandberg, asking you to help cheer up kids in hospitals.
When children suffer from serious medical conditions, Rhino Kid Care, supported by Ryan Sandberg and National City, helps them and their families cope. Join the cause.
You know what's amazing about baseball is you learn more when you lose than when you win, because you give it a lot more thought, and you gotta make more changes. You just can't sit still. And early in the season we weren't winning with too much regularity, and finally it settled down. And but as it settled down, you can see that we've gotten almost about as constant as you want with this thing. You don't see many changes.
Well, that is an excellent point by Lou Piniella. Nobody wants to lose ever, but it really forced Lou and Jim Hendry and the coaching staff to really take a hard look at this roster, and a lot of changes were made.
No, you don't ask questions when you're winning ball games. Some of the warts tend to get overlooked when you're still winning ball games, but when you're losing, well, you want to try to fix everything as quickly as you possibly can and make it better.
You also learn about a particular player's ability to handle adversity, especially the younger guys. Swing and a miss, and Felix P.A. strikes out. Lou, talking about Felix, says he likes his batting stance a little bit better, not quite as wide. Has a better base, standing a little taller. But he said, hey, this kid's going to hit at some point. But right now, you really value his defense for the most part, and anything you get offensively is gravy, as Rich Hill is going to ground out quickly. 2 outs. This Tuesday is Apple Vacations Night at Wrigley Field. The first 20,000 fans will receive a scratch and win card with a chance to win a 3-night all-inclusive vacation courtesy of Apple Vacations and Sunscape Resorts. Keep your scratch and win card during the game to be one of 3 second-chance winners. Thank you to Apple Vacations and Sunscape Resorts. You knew Terrio was going to take that one.
Yeah, that was a terrible at-bat by Rich Hill. I mean, with a pitcher at the plate and nobody on base, you have to force that opposing pitcher to throw at least 3 pitches to get you out. Now, if there's runners in scoring position, that's a different story, especially for some of the pitchers the Cubs have on the staff. But for Rich Hill, up there, 1 out, nobody on base, Josh Fogg has to throw 3 pitches at least to get him out. Swinging at that first pitch, hitting an easy ground ball after that laborious first inning that Josh Fogg had. Now he's on the verge of having a very quick pitch inning and kind of getting the table even again.
Two and two. Ryan either was upset with himself that he didn't go after it or not happy that it was called a strike. Takes that for ball 3, full count. Fogg shaking off Torrealba, finds the sign he wants finally, and it's popped up by Terrio. There'll be plenty of room for Garrett Atkins, and that's the inning. So as Bob mentioned, Josh Fogg kind of getting it back here. Fairly routine second inning, 1-1.
Plan your next corporate or social function in one of Wrigley Field's private party accommodations. Wrigley Field offers a variety of private catered opportunities to host and impress your group. The Mezzanine Suites, presented by Nuveen Investments, has 4 convenient rental plans to fit all budgets and needs. For larger parties of 75 to 100, the Batter's Eye Lounge, located in the center field Bud Light bleachers, provides a unique view of the game. All private party accommodations provide generous food and beverage packages as well as VIP parking. Call 773-404-CUBS or visit Cubs.com.
Letting up, folks, so you might want to get home with those air conditioners.
At the end of a long, hot day, grab the beer that starts out cold and ends up refreshing. Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
The survival of the greenbacks is a daily challenge. This one was overspent. They're at risk of becoming extinct. But you can help right now during Kia's Save the Greenback sales event. You save a lot of greenbacks with Kia, like the fuel-efficient Sportage. With its impressive safety rating, you and your greenbacks are more protected than ever. Together, we can save the greenbacks.
Hurry and get 2.9% APR plus $1,000 bonus cash on the Sportage.
Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by Aflac, ask about it at work, and by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world.
This Wednesday, the Cubs host the Reds at beautiful Wrigley Field. Game time is 7:05, but be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will get an exclusive limited edition Aramis Ramirez bobblehead doll, compliments of Fannie Mae. Talked to Aramis before the game and may take some swings tomorrow, but his goal is to be back in the lineup Tuesday night after the off day Monday. The right wrist feels a little bit better today. That's good news.
The real good news is the Cubs have been able to put some runs on the board without him here in Colorado, and that makes it a fairly easy decision to ease off of Ramirez until Tuesday if the Cubs are able to keep swinging the bats the way they have.
Torrealba socking one in the center for a leadoff single.
It's another one of those things that you need to come together just right in order to have a successful season. When you do lose some of your key offensive performers, you need other guys to pick up the slack. We've seen that in this series, and that allows the player who's injured a little extra time to recover. If the team struggles offensively with guys gone, there's always that temptation of bringing them back a little bit too soon, and that really opens the door for problems later.
This is a first career plate appearance for Ian Stewart, left-handed hitting third baseman, and at one time he was their third baseman of the future. But Garrett Atkins, who got to the big leagues first, kind of stole the job. Now Atkins was scalded. Atkins and Brad Hopp were first basemen as we check out the profile of Ian Stewart, first round pick back in 2003. But they were forced to move to other positions because of Todd Helton. So Hopp now a right fielder, Atkins a third baseman. In the air to left. Matt Merton will drift back on it, make the catch.
Well, not the easiest debut draw for Stewart, facing a big, tall left-handed pitcher with a nasty curveball, but stayed on that fastball up and away and hit it pretty good to left field.
Stewart had been hitting better against lefties than righties in AAA, 328 versus southpaws, 294 against righties. Popped up on the bunt by Fogg. Derek Lee made the catch for the second out. I wondered if Derek might let that ball drop and try to get a double play, but he just decided to take the sure out.
Josh Fogg with 7 sack bunts on the season is usually pretty good at moving those runners, but popped that one up in the air to the right side.
The reason I wondered, Bob, was Fogg didn't really bust it out of the box. A bit more of a risk there. If you'd let it drop. So you have Matsui and Tulowitzki as the Rockies double play combination. I guess you could combine it and make it Matsuowitzki.
Tulasui. Yeah, they've done a real nice job up the middle for Clint Hurdle, leading the major leagues in double plays coming into play tonight.
Fair ball. Torrealba heading toward third. Mike Gallego, the third base coach, is going to send him. Merton had a little trouble with it, and the Rockies have the lead. A 2-out RBI double by Matsui, who extends his hitting streak to 9. It's 2-1.
One thing about the warning track here at Coors Field, Len, especially in the corners, that gate down there in left field is where they let the motorcycles in before the ball game today. It's really soft dirt, and you'll see Merton stumbling around out there and spinning around. A lot of loose dirt out there in that left field corner, and Jorge Torrealba, the catcher, chugging all the way around from first base with a slight bobble out there in the left field corner. Gallegos waved him on home. Rockies take a lead. Now, some ballparks, that warning track is hard as concrete. This one, however, especially in that area where Matt Merton was, very, very soft down in that corner.
And this is the first lead the Rockies have had in the series. Fouled back by Tulowitzki.
Yeah, they had a parade of Harley-Davidson motorcycles around the field here today. Harley-Davidson night at the ballpark. What a great sound that is. Potato, 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 potato.
Yeah, they made a lot of noise. And on their hands and fouled back. The Rockies' 1-9 trip that began in late June. Tulowitzki hit 3 go-ahead home runs in the Rockies' final at bat, only to see Brian Fuentes blow the save and lose the game in the bottom of that same inning. And more on the one Tulowitzki hit at Wrigley Field a little bit later on tonight as he grounds out to second base to end the inning. But the Matsui double makes it 2-1 Colorado.
It's Toyota's Lots on the Lot event. With so many great trucks to choose from, it's the right time to buy. Get 0% APR on a powerful new Tundra, or choose $2,500 cash back. Get $2,500 cash back on a 4Runner, or lease a 4Runner for just $299 a month. Toyota's Lots on the Lot event. Going on now.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
Hot, sticky weather is here. You can try to cool yourself this way or go to the experts at QC Auto Service Centers. They'll keep you cool, calm, and happy all summer long. The highly trained and certified technicians at QC Auto Service Centers will check it out and fix it right the first time.
Hot under the collar? Don't sweat it. Come see us.
The place to go for air conditioning service. QC Auto Service Centers, keeping you on the road.
Okay, you're ready to go with speeds up to 10 megabits per second. I have MediaCom online in 10 meg. You can download videos in seconds. I can download videos in seconds! And that's really, really fast. And that's really, really... Can I say 6 times faster than DSL? Not a problem. Cool.
Drop that slow DSL and discover the power of MediaCom Online with VIP speeds of up to 10 megabits per second. Just $19.95 a month for 12 months. Call 1-800-CABLE-TV today.
Get Chicago Sports News Nightly on Land Rover Sports Night. Coming up tonight after Cubs postgame live. Reaction from the Bears locker room in Houston. Plus Brewers Astros highlights and a recap of this one. Josh and Carrie will have it for you tonight. Land Rover Sports Night after Cubs post game live. Only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Jock Jones leading off the third inning. The Cubs trailing for the first time in the series. 2-1 Rockies. Well, Wandy Rodriguez continues to flourish at Minute Maid Park. 5 shutout innings tonight. And now the Astros with 2 in the bottom of the 5th to take a 3-0 lead over Milwaukee. High in the air and deep, sending Spilborghs back, but he's going to have enough room. 2 feet in front of the warning track, and Jones is out. Well, Jock had that look like he just missed it.
Had a good pass at that one right there. Either guessed right or he recognized that changeup right away out of the hand of Josh Fogg. Kept his hands back, put a good swing on it to straightaway center field, but unfortunately just stays in the ballpark. They thought he might have had a chance. Deepest part of the ballpark out there.
That first pitch swing is always an interesting one from a guy like Derek Lee, who's so patient. It was not a fastball. I'll try to file that away and ask him tomorrow if he was thinking he was going to get a heater on that first pitch after a very long at bat in the first inning. Chased that time. 2 down.
Oh, we talked about it briefly last night with Jason Kendall looking at video before last night's ball game, talking about ambushing the starting pitcher. Now, for a guy like Derek Lee or Jason Kendall or Mark DeRosa, who are usually very patient and work deep counts, I would assume that by ambush he meant go up there and jump on the first pitch. Assume that that pitcher's just going to try to lay one in there and get ahead in the count, knowing that their history is to be patient. Well, try to short circuit that by swinging at the first pitch.
Well, Josh Fogg all of a sudden very efficient. That ball will be caught as Brad Hopp seemed to give way, but Spilborghs was going to let him take it. It's 2-1 Rockies midway in the third.
Cordially invited to the event from Lexus. The summer sales event where you'll find unexpected values on the Lexus you've always wanted. But like summer, it won't last forever. The event, now through September 4th. See your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer.
Grab the new Sun-Times and get the real Chicago story every day. Subscribe at suntimes.com. Chicago Sun-Times. Let's get into it.
Hey Cubs fans, tune in to Comcast Sportsnet all year to watch your team and the LoJack caught stealing play. Then visit Cubs.com/LoJack to enter to win a 2008 spring training trip. LoJack, the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police.
Here's the scenario. Between draft day, free agency, and training camp, we grow restless. If ever you needed a stronger case for how absence makes the heart grow fonder, speak to a Madden fan in July. So while we may present a calm demeanor on the outside, know that we are twisted, writhing knot of anticipation on the inside, waiting, maybe not so patiently, for August 14th. Madden NFL 08, rated E for everyone. EA Sports, it's in the game.
When the Cubs game is over, stay tuned for Cubs postgame live on Comcast Sportsnet. All the interviews and press conferences, in-depth game highlights, and Dan Plesek breaks down all the action. Cubs postgame live after the game on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Honor your loved ones with an engraved brick on the sidewalks beneath the historic Wrigley Field marquee. Join thousands of others in the commemorative paver program and make your mark on the grounds of Wrigley Field. All orders come with a replica brick for your home or office. Space is limited, so order today. For complete details, visit Cubs.com or call 1-800-851-6846. Matt Holliday, a foul strike. As we start the bottom of the third. A little treacherous out there in right field to end the last half inning.
The ball stayed in the air a long time. Colorado outfielders, they're a little confused as to who was going to make the play. Finally, Brad Hopp kind of staggers underneath the ball to make the catch.
Tapper toward third. Fair ball, and DeRosa had one shot at it, couldn't come up with it. Got to be a hit, right?
Well, I'll tell you, we talked about Mark DeRosa's 4-error game as a member of the Atlanta Braves in this ballpark, and he was telling me about it today, and he got sliced up pretty good by the official score in that ball game. One of the errors came trying to barehand a bunt down the third baseline. Another one came on a do-or-die play just like this. That is 99% of the time rule the base hit when you have to come in and try to get that short hop and throw all in one motion.
And it is a hit.
In the third error that day for Mark DeRosa, he actually dove for a ball, caught it in foul territory. It was called a ground fair ball, went over the bag. He caught it in foul territory, and when he got up to throw to first base, his throw was wide. They gave him an error.
It's a tough night. He had 2 errors last night. The final one came on the last play of the game. Corey Sullivan able to reach on a bad throw, but heads-up play by Ronnie Cedeno to nail Sullivan at second base, preserving the 6-2 win. DeRosa again. He's going to have to throw to first, and he got him. And a tough inning for Mark DeRosa.
You hear people say all the time after a guy makes an error or misplays a ball that he's telling himself, hit the next one to me. I never felt that way. If I kicked one, I didn't want to see a baseball the rest of the afternoon, and I think Mark DeRosa probably feels that way right about now. Hit it to somebody else. He's had some tough chances down there at third base in this series.
Holiday at the bottom of your screen in scoring position for Spilborghs, who has 43 RBIs in limited duty this year, just 148 at bats. Well, he has put up terrific numbers in a part-time role. Knocked down by Rich Hill. He just saved a run. He will get the out at first base. That ball was headed towards center field.
Catch or be caught right there. That ball was headed right back for Rich Hill's face. Very deliberate once again with the underhanded toss. Spilborghs made it a close play at first base. Rich was probably in a little bit of shock out there after knocking that one down.
Some self-preservation. Now tries to get Brad Hopp and get out of this inning. Rockies with a hit in each inning. Scored a run in the first, another one in the second. Bill trying to keep him off the board for the first time. Houston scored again, 4-0. 3 runs in the 5th inning for the Astros, leading Milwaukee. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Great to see Jim McCardle, Cubs manager of publications, who made the trip this weekend. Enjoying some Cubs baseball from a beautiful ballpark, Coors Field. Two and two. Hill with a quick look at Holiday. Big leg kick in the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And for the first time, the Rockies do not score. We'll go to the 4th inning. From Denver, it's 2-1 Rockies.
Flying out of Chicago Midway for business? Southwest Airlines isn't just for short flights anymore. We offer nonstop flights to LA, DC, Phoenix, Houston, Long Island, Philly, and dozens of other destinations. You wanted more nonstop flights for business, so we're flying more nonstops than ever before.
You are now free to move about the country.
Recognize your loved ones on the sidewalks beneath the historic Wrigley Field marquee. Through the commemorative paver program, you can join thousands of fans in celebrating the day you became a Cubs fan, declared your loyalty, or preserve your favorite Cubs moment. If you're a Cubs fan, how can you pass up this opportunity to become part of Wrigley Field? Each order includes a replica paver for your home or office and makes a perfect gift. So to purchase, visit Cubs.com or call today. Space is limited, so order now.
During the Pontiac Summer Sell-Down, you can get more than just some sun. Get more horsepower than any import under 18 grand and still get 33 on the highway. Get more horsepower and better highway fuel economy than Scion TC. And with every 2007 Pontiac, you get more coverage than anyone in America.
During the Pontiac Summer Sell-Down, choose 0 APR or $3,000 total customer cash on any 2007 Torrent. Hurry, inventory limited. For more information, visit PontiacDrive.com.
Comcast Sportsnet has Bears training camp covered. From interviews on Chicago Tribune Live to the most in-depth news on Sports Night, Comcast Sportsnet is a Bears fan's best friend this summer. Don't miss Bears training camp reports every night on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Well, let's flash back to late June at Wrigley Field. Troy Tulowitzki capping a 6-run ninth for the Rockies. That was a 3-run homer off Bob Howery. The Cubs had led 8-3, but went into the bottom of the ninth down 9-8. But Alfonso Soriano with a 2-run game-ending single, and the Cubs win 10-9. Big night for Mike Fontenot, went 5 for 5. That'll lead us into our Aflac trivia question here coming up. Mark DeRosa high and deep. Matt Holliday giving chase. And he'll make the catch. What a play by Matt Holliday, who had a long, long run. And a tough night for DeRosa continues. Actually with a hit in his first at bat. Those tough plays on defense, and then just had a double taken away.
Boy, just missed this one. A hanging breaking ball in the inside part of the plate. D-Row was just talking in batting practice today about trying to drive the ball a little bit more with some authority. Made a bid for extra bases there, but a great running catch by Matt Holliday robs him.
It's one of those tip your cap moments. Not much you can really do about it.
Yeah, it's hard to really tell what the wind does here at this ballpark. It's partially enclosed. The flags on top of the scoreboard appear to be blowing out toward the left field corner tonight, but I think once it gets inside the bowl here, it kind of swirls around, so it's hard to say what effect the wind has on those high fly balls.
Fontenot elevates. See, there's that word again. Spilborgh's had it on the brain. 2 outs. All of a sudden, Josh Fogg has become Cy Young the last couple of innings. Let's get our Aflac trivia question. Prior to that game in June, when was the last time the Cubs gave up 6 in the ninth, blowing a lead, but still won the game? It's been a while, we'll tell you that. The last base runner for the Cubs was the walk to Fontenot with the bases loaded in the first. In the second and third innings combined for Fogg, just 18 pitches, and Kendall's trying to slow him down here.
Yeah, any pitcher, when he gets into a good rhythm out there on the mound, he wants to get the ball back from the catcher and get up on that bump and get ready to deliver the next pitch as quickly as possible. And part of your job as the opposing offense is to slow him down. Don't let him get into that good rhythm out there on the mound.
Jason Kendall very familiar with Josh Fogg. He used to catch him when they were Pirate teammates. Now 1-2. Fogg was born in Lynn, Massachusetts, attended Cardinal Gibbons High in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Second straight one to get away from Torrealba. And I know it doesn't matter with nobody on base, but Torrealba just had to look like,
It looked like that one might have taken a bite out of some non-padded areas that time when he went down to block that pitch in the dirt.
Just missed. Full count. PA would bat next.
We've seen Josh Fogg go to that pitch several times already on 2 strike counts to right-handed hitters. The slider that starts at the hitter, tries to catch that inside corner. He got Ryan Theriot looking at one to start the ball game. Tried to throw one to Derek Lee, did not get the call, and just missed with one right there.
And Kendall shoots it into left. Jason actually stepped out again before that 3-2 pitch, so twice in the at-bat he made Josh Fogg have to start his windup twice.
As you said, Len, Jason Kendall caught him in Pittsburgh, and Jason knows as well as anybody what Josh Fogg needs to do to be effective, and to slow him down when he's in a good rhythm out there.
You see Felix more upright in his stance than he was in spring training. Both Gerald Perry and Lou Piniella worked with Felix on his swing, some mechanical issues. Ground ball, and this one will get through past Matsui. Kendall will end up at third base. Cubs doing all their damage with 2 outs. Every base runner they've had tonight has been after 2 are out.
And the fact that Garrett Atkins holding on Jason Kendall over there at first base, you see where he is, just a step inside the line, and that ball goes right through the area where a first baseman would normally be positioned with nobody on at first base. Now this at bat for Rich Hill, I don't have as much a problem if he attacks the first pitch. If it's something he thinks he can hit, he's got a runner down there at third base. There you go.
All right, Rich Hill with a big hit. He's seen 2 pitches tonight. He's 1 for 2, and he just tied it. Helping out that run support category. It's 2-2.
Yeah, when you've got ducks on the pond, all bets are off. But with nobody on base and very little chance that you're going to spark a rally, that's when you want to see that pitcher take as many pitches as possible. This time jumps on the first pitch with a runner at third and lines a clean base hit into center field.
Back-to-back-to-back singles with 2 outs, and it's a tie game, 2-2. Ground ball to third. Stewart pops the mitt over to Atkins for the third out. But Rich Hill drives in the tying run. 2-2, bottom 4.
Not too close. What do you think? I got that insurance?
What insurance is that, Yogi?
The one you really need to have. If you don't have it, that's why you need it.
Need what?
Aflac. Well, if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
At Dell, we believe the 25 million small businesses in America deserve something more. So we're introducing Dell Vostro. Customized systems, services, and expertise designed just for small business. PCs with no trialware, just the software you want. And they can be powered by Intel Core 2 Duo processors to keep you up and running fast. Plus the reassurance of Dell's new 30-day worry-free guarantee. New Dell Vostro. Proof that we believe in small business.
What's the difference between having fun and having none? The Midas Touch Maintenance Package. We'll change your oil, rotate your tires, and do a 45-point courtesy check, all for just $29.95. It's our lowest price of the year. Let Midas help you get the most from your car. For brakes, oil changes, tires, and more. Be safe.
Trust the Midas Touch.
Let's get the answer to tonight's Aflac trivia question.
Aflac!
Prior to that comeback against the Rockies, when was the last time the Cubs yielded 6 in the ninth, blowing a lead, but still won the game? We have to go back 60 years. September 17th, 1947 against the Giants. The Cubs led 10-4. The Giants scored 6 to tie it. The Cubs would win it 12-10.
Fast and furious finish to that ball game, huh?
Hill taking his final warm-up toss after tying the ball game with an RBI single. His 4th career RBI, all coming this year. He'll face the bottom 3 in the Rockies order: Torrealba, Stewart, and Fogg. Well, good to see the Cubs break that momentum. It looked like Josh Fogg was really settling in.
And 2 quick outs to start the inning, and then back-to-back base hits. Tied the ball game. And as always, when your ball club puts a run on the board, even if it's you driving in the run, you want to go right back out there the next half inning and put a 0 on the board, get your team back in there swinging the bats again. And it should be a good inning to do that, facing the 7, 8, 9 hitter. There's never really a breather inning in the major leagues anymore. I mean, anybody with a bat in their hands can be dangerous, but if you're going to have an easy inning, it's probably going to start down there at the bottom of the order.
Last year they were 4-1, and you thought it was going to be a typical Sonny Lubick season. They were going to go out and win 8-9 ball games, and they had Air Force beat. They were way up on Air Force in the first half and ended up losing that ball game, and they never recovered. Here's a line drive back at Hill. Hill's going to have to put up a screen pretty soon.
And he'll screen like you have during batting practice.
He didn't even want to throw it around.
No, he was so flustered after he caught the ball. He has a big smile on his face. And this is 2 balls that have just been squared up right back up the middle. And once again, great play by the glove.
Pitchers absolutely hate that.
No,
you live in fear of this.
Exactly. This ball was squared up. I mean, pitchers can't get hurt in this instance, folks. We've seen it before, and didn't happen there. Rich might want to think about throwing something else.
Here's Ian Stewart's 2nd big league at bat. He fell behind 0-2 in his last at bat, and then hit a high drive to deep left field that Merton caught right around the warning track. Breaking pitch misses, 1-1.
I like the way he took that ball, though. He really looked it in all the way to Kendall.
And this ball is driven to left field. Merton will slide over, however, and make the catch. That is good to see, and I'll tell you why. Obviously, you want to have hits, but for a while last year when Stewart struggled, he became pull happy.
Yeah, and a lot of that was the success that he had during spring training. I mean, he was just unbelievable in 06 during spring training. And then you start to feel like, hey, I can hit every single ball out. And you start flying open with that front shoulder. There's 2 swings that he's taken the other way, stayed on the baseball.
0-1 on Josh Fogg. Rockies 2, Cubs 2. Hits are even at 5. I'm looking around here, the crowd's really filled in. This may be close to a sellout tonight.
Nice to see.
We always refer to Josh Fogg as the number 5 starter because that's basically the slot he has worked out of in a Rockies uniform the last year and 2/3. Well, right now with the injuries, he's the number 3 starter.
By default, but think what he's done since the All-Star break. In 4 starts, he's 2-1 with a 2.52 ERA. So he's really elevated his game here in the second half.
Slow ground ball to short. Terrio will throw out Fogg, and the Rockies go in order in the 4th inning. Colorado 2, Chicago 2.
Cranberry.
reasonable likeness, I suppose. Esurance Inside Information in 1997, the first player the Rockies ever lost in the Rule 5 draft was Jeff Hewson.
How about that?
The Seattle Mariners, deep in our Rocky archives.
That is way deep.
Well, you know what? I have to be honest. I've been giving you a hard time all day because Cody and Kyle, your two boys, are at the ball game tonight, and they've been hanging out with my oldest son, Jacob. And they have the Jeff Hewson baseball camp. Beautiful T-shirts, one red, one in Cub blue, by the way.
No,
and I was wondering when we were getting our Jeff Hewson, you know, what about the crew? When are they getting their Jeff Hewson baseball camp
just keep
T-shirts?
waiting. It's like gold. You know, they're very, very valuable, so I got to get them out of the vault.
I keep asking all of your kids' friends. I said, "Hey, you go to Huey's camp?" No invitation, nothing. So I'm starting to think maybe this is just a camp for your two kids, and you made T-shirts up.
How'd you find out?
You know.
Nice catch.
Oh, great catch. Unfortunately, you have each a nice job. Give me a fist bump. That's wonderful. The problem is that it doesn't count as an out.
No, but he caught it without a glove. I think that's the impressive thing. He says, I'm right underneath it. Don't worry about it, fans. I got you covered. Yeah. Need a little fist bump from Yorville.
Holiday, can he see it? Boy, the way he was reacting, wondering if Matt saw the baseball. 2 outs.
Now he gets a beer.
Well, that's Neil Devlin. You know that?
I did not know
He's
that.
a prep writer, for a longtime prep writer, and an outstanding one for the Denver Post. He's got good seats tonight. Derek Lee struck out on 3 pitches his last at bat. He had a single in the first and scored a run. So I can't wait. The crew's all excited. Our Jeff Hewson baseball camp T-shirts.
Soon.
Ground ball to third. Stewart 3 for 3 on chances tonight.
Boy, he's done a nice job, and that's the other thing we talk about hitting so much is when you first come up to the big leagues, what's it like? Your nerves when you go to hit. Let's not forget about the other side of the coin in your defense. Always nice to get that first ground ball out of the way, and think about the first one that Ian had. The bases loaded back in the first inning.
We talked about that during the ensuing commercial break, and that wasn't easy. Your first chance, throw it away, 2-run score.
It is nerve-wracking, but so far he's handled all chances nice and gathered himself, made the strong throw over to first base.
Ball and a strike on Matt Merton. Walk and a fly ball to right field tonight for Merton. Broken bat, chance for Tulowitzki. And he throws the heater to first. Glove by Atkins. 1, 2, 3, 5th for Josh Fogg. We're tied at 2. Matsuya will lead it off.
The Broncos hit the gridiron on FSN.
Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by Chevy, made for Colorado. Visit us at ColoradoChevyDealers.com. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher, Gatorade, is it in you? And by Amco, AAMCO. We roll to the bottom of the 5th inning. Kaz Matsui, an RBI double his last time up. Takes another pitch out of the strike zone. 2-0 on Matsui. Kaz hitting .500 in the month of August. That's a strike. He leads the National League in hitting in August. Second is Atkins at .486.
It's nice to be able to have a guy like Kaz that you can throw at the top of your lineup when Willie's out. A guy that has speed and can steal a base.
Speed guys like Willie Taveras, because their legs are so important, they always want to feel, 100% when you're, the big corner guys who hit home runs. They probably don't pay as close attention to how their legs feel, but that's their whole, that's their livelihood, man.
Yeah, it's their money. That's their bread and butter. You think about how many bunt base hits that Willie's had, how many infield hits he's had. It's because of his legs, and when they're not feeling 100% or even 90%, it's tough to go out there and play.
That was an interesting swing.
It was a defensive swing. All of a sudden he said, I better hope I at least make contact and foul the ball off, give myself another chance. Come back inside with the fastball.
And it's popped up on the left side. DeRosa the catch, one out. If you have a break in your windshield, take it to Elite Auto Glass, #1 for more than one reason. Tulowitzki will hit. Single and a run scored in the first, and a ground ball to second on a curveball. Got the fastball. He drives it to left. It's fully foul. We have a little treat for you tonight. Jason Hirsch, who's on the disabled list, joins us from just outside the Rockies clubhouse. Jason, how you feeling, my friend?
Feeling pretty good.
Yeah, how's that? You pitched 5 innings on a broken leg, so I would imagine you feel awfully good.
Yeah, no, it's the healing process come along, I guess, a lot quicker for a broken leg than I was expecting.
Now, we saw you out a couple hours before the ball game today throwing to keep that arm in shape. What's the realistic prognosis for you when we see you on the mound again?
That's up to the trainers and my body. They said 3 to 4 weeks. We'll x-ray it too, and if there's some healing going on, they'll let me get back up on the mound and start going after it.
Well, I know you have a broken leg, but which one has been more painful for you, the broken leg or the sprained ankle?
To be honest with you, the sprained ankle hurt a lot more than the broken leg does. Yes.
Are you going to petition Bud Selig, and I think Rich Hill would support you in this, to put up an L screen?
No, that's a bad thing if we have to put up an L screen. That means we're not throwing very well.
Rich Hill, he's been, he needs a couple of bodyguards out there. He's been playing self-defense mode.
Yeah, we've been watching here in the clubhouse. He's definitely swift up there. He's a lot quicker than I am.
So what kind of treatment do you get for a broken leg?
They have me on what they call a bone growth stimulator.
It's
I don't know. I think it's just a flashing light with some wires coming out of it. But they got that. Then, I just do some ice and some stim and just really time and a calcium supplement. Other than that, we're just going to wait for it.
I'm glad to hear that you're on a bone growth stimulator, because you do need a little more height.
Yeah, I was hoping to get at least another inch or two out of it.
Right. Well, let's take a look, Jason. I don't know if you have a monitor down there, but here's the injury Tuesday night, and this ball was scorched back at you. Did you realize, did you think it was a bruise initially, or did you realize it may be something a little more serious?
When it hit me, I thought it was just I thought it was just going to be a bruise. It felt really tight. I'd never broken a bone before, so I didn't know what a broken bone would feel like. So I just thought it would be some tightness that would wear off as the game went on, and unfortunately for me, it got tighter as the game went on, and we got x-rays the next morning, and that's when I found out it was broken.
Well, we're going to show a replay of this caught stealing at second base. Clint Hurdle's going to argue with crew chief Ed Montague. It looked like, with the naked eye, that Troy may have gotten in there.
I think he got into the backside. Think back to the other night when Chris Guccione waited until the last possible second, made the call. The swipe tag. I don't think Ryan Theriot even got to Troy's leg. You see Troy arguing, saying, I got to the backside part of that bag before the tag was there.
He tried to go on first movement. He gets cut down. So Matt Holliday with 2 outs and nobody on. And the curveball's high. Jason Hirsch has joined us outside the Rockies clubhouse. Jason, what typically, if you weren't injured, what would you be doing in between starts if you were not going the next day and charting pitches?
Probably out in the dugout right now. You know, watching the game, rooting my guys on.
Do you guys look and break down other pitchers? Do you look at other hitters in particular and try to get a game plan as to how you'll work them later on in the series?
Yeah, we get before each series we get a video of all the guys that we might be facing, and then we'll get video of guys either like me or me throwing against them, and we get to watch that and kind of evaluate. And then before each series we have a pitchers meeting where we all get together and kind of go over how we're going to pitch this guy, who's been hot, who's been cold, kind of things. And we just try and take that game plan out on the field. Obviously, each pitcher is different. There's a lot of different styles on the staff, and each guy adjusts the report to his style.
All right, hey Jason, get well quickly. Keep that muscle growth, or excuse me, the bone growth stimulant going. I know you need that.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you out on the hill real short.
Thank you.
All right, that's Jason Hirsch. Thanks, Jason Hirsch. 2-2 ball game. Our Valero Energy to take you anywhere play of the day. Look at this catch by Matt Holliday. That's the tail end of it after a long run, probably in the neighborhood of 40 or 50 yards to come up with that baseball. Wonderful grab tonight by Matt Holliday. And Mark DeRosa takes low and away. It's ball 2 on DeRosa. DeRosa is the one who hit that long drive. Mark's 1 for 2.
Josh has really settled down since that first inning. 36 pitches alone in that first. Since then, the last 4 innings, 44 pitches.
Fouled off. He's talking to Bob Brenly, the former manager and now broadcaster with the Chicago Cubs, about Mark DeRosa earlier tonight. He said, if you follow this club every day, for me, DeRosa was the first half MVP.
That's high praise. You think some of the guys that they have.
Brad Hopp makes the catch down the right field line. DeRosa's retired. Let's go to the studio, the Chevy Sports Desk with Mark Stout at Baseball Update.
Usually highlights of Adam Dunn of the Reds have him going yard. How about an error on Marcus Giles of the Padres? 2-run score. Reds went up 7-1. They would beat San Diego 8-3 this afternoon.
Good news for everybody else in the National League West. The D-backs, they have to cool off at some point.
They have to.
66 and 51.
Looking at the scoreboard, they're up 1-0 now in the 5th.
Oh, 1 on Fontenot, and he lifts this to his buddy Brad Hopp in right field. And Brad puts it away for the second out. Let's take a look at the Affleck trivia question tonight. Rockies have had a first-round pick at every position except ... It's like Jeopardy. No, we provided you with the question. Sort of.
You could still answer it in a phrase.
Right.
Who is? What is?
Pitcher. But it's not pitcher. Just use that as an example. Fouled off by Kendall.
This Sunday, the game against the Cubs, all kids 15 and under through the gates will receive a backpack courtesy of Wells Fargo. You can get your tickets at any Rockies ticket outlet or online at ColoradoRockies.com. That would be tomorrow.
Tell you something interesting about Arizona. They are 15 games over 500, yet they are minus 21 in run differential this year. Is that something?
Unbelievable.
They've scored 21 fewer runs than the opposition, yet they're 15 games above 500. That doesn't add up either. Line drive to right field, and Josh Fogg says, you know what, Hopper, you handle this inning. 2-2 ball game. Two-two ball game, bottom of the 6th inning. The Rockies will have Garrett Atkins, Ryan Spilborghs, and Brad Hopp to face Rich Hill. Once again, our Affleck trivia statement. Rockies have had a first-round pick at every position except second base. Now, they've sort of had a first-round pick at second base because Jason Nix, having a nice year, by the way, in AAA Colorado Springs, was a supplemental or sandwich pick between the first and second round. I was trying to remember a catcher they drafted in the first round. And then we looked up in the Rockies media guide. Back in 1998, the Rockies had 3 first-round picks: Matt Roney, Chu Freeman, and Jeff Winchester. Jeff Winchester was a catcher from Rummel High School in Louisiana. Atkins, the ground ball to third. DeRosa will throw him out line.
Rich Hill's done a nice job for the Cubs tonight. 71 pitches, 49 for strikes, only 22 for balls. Little balls right at him that he's knocked down. this guy was a 4th-round pick.
He's thrown a lot this year, like a 1st-round pick.
Yep.
Red Sox beat the Orioles tonight.
Turner's staying hot.
Up high on Spilborghs. Spilborghs hit a bullet back to Rich Hill that he knocked down with his glove and was able to throw out Ryan. Otherwise he'd be 2 for 2 or maybe 3 for 3 now. So a 1-out hit for Ryan Spilborghs.
Just keeps.
And the fan club grows by another dozen.
Every time you turn around, you walk out in the concourse, you see Ryan Spilborg jerseys. Jacob Goodman has his on tonight. It's nice to see, and well deserved from Ryan.
I'd like Jacob to wash that thing once in a while. He got it about a week ago. He's worn it 24/7 now. Here's Hop. Spilborghs goes back to first base. 2-2 game.
To see a hit and run here. We have Brad stay on the baseball a little bit more. Open up some holes. If you're thinking he just threw over there on a hit and run as a runner at first base, your first priority is make sure you don't get picked off, because it's up to the responsibility of the hitter to put the ball in play. Take the hit and run off. Anytime a pitcher, in my mind, throws over there 3 straight times, he's not going to throw over there a 4th. I'm going to gamble, take off as soon as he lifts his leg. See what happens.
Fouled off by Hop. Hill's pretty quick to the plate. A lot of lefties, you know, they hang that leg out there to freeze you at first base. Once he decides to go to the plate, it's a shorter kick.
Yeah, it's predetermined in his mind. He doesn't have the ability to get up there, read the guy like some left-handers do. In his mind, as soon as he sees the sign, he's either going over to first or he's going home.
He does vary it, though, because that time he lifted it up a little higher. You know, we're watching it. This is the same thing, Huey, you would do in the dugout when you were playing.
And that's what Jamie Carroll and Corey Sullivan and those guys for the Rockies are studying this move, because who knows, they might have to go out there and steal a base later in the ball game with Rich Hill out on the hill.
That's that curveball that has been very tough on Brad Hop tonight. 1 and 2.
Well, here's the delivery we were talking about. This time it was a high leg kick, and anytime the foot stays on the front side of the rubber, you're not quite sure what he's going to do. As soon as he crosses to the backside, he has to go home.
And Hop has struck out 3 times tonight against Rich Hill. Let's go to the studio again. Mark Stat has an update at the Chevy Sports Desk on the San Francisco Giants and Pirates.
Giants rookie Tim Lincecum throws hard. He got hit hard today. Adam LaRoche into McCovey's Cove. He helped the Pirates win big 13-3 in San Fran.
That guy saying, I got a baseball, but it's not one of Barry's.
The water's pretty cold, leaving the Bay of San Francisco there.
Here's Torrealba. 4 strikeouts tonight for Rich Hill. 3 times he's gotten Brad Hop.
Along with 6 fly ball outs, 6 ground ball outs, kind of evenly distributed.
"36 runs in a 3-game set against Milwaukee for the Rockies. And here in Game 3 against the Cubs, they have 6 runs.
We mentioned it in the open. I attribute a lot to Todd Helton not being in the lineup. All of a sudden, you don't have the protection for Matt Holliday. Garrett has to slide up and not hit from the 5th spot.
I think everything, even though Todd doesn't put up the numbers he used to put up, he still has great respect in the other dugout. He still has an on-base percentage well over 400. Defensively, he picks up that infield. He's a huge void when he's not in there. Torrealba walks, and that will push the go-ahead run to second, and it will bring up Ian Stewart. 2 fly balls to left field. Both were fairly well struck.
What a nice time to come up with that first big league hit. The Cubs came up with a couple 2-out RBIs. Now it's time for the Rockies. And what a better way to get that first major league hit. Put your ball club ahead. The pitcher spot on deck. Jeremy Affeld's up and tossing in the bullpen. You might have to go to a pinch hitter, even though Josh Fogg only has 85, 86 pitches now.
That was a breaking pitch to hit him on the top of the helmet. Stewart's okay. And grazed off the top, and it loads the bases. And now you have a decision.
There you go, get Jamie Carroll. You have to. And the breaking pitch is not the fastball like we saw in last night's, and he had tried to duck out of it. You keep thinking it's going to break, and there's really no place you can go. On the Hyundai cam, you can see Ian turn. Hopefully that just grazed the top part of the helmet. So after last night, take a look and see what happened with Jeff Baker last night. It's a scary replay. The ball just kept riding in. Caught a little bit of the helmet, but a lot of Bake's cheek.
It's also what happens when you have injuries. This would be Ryan Spilborg's spot right here, but he's in against lefties now because he's become a platoon player. So you slide another notch down as to who you want pinch hitting, and Jamie Carroll has swung the bat exceptionally well the last few weeks, and he'll take his turn coming off the bench here. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2-2 ball game in the 6th. And one thing about Jamie, he's a guy that stays focused on the ball game. It's not like, he wasn't paying attention to Rich Hill the first 4 or 5 innings and then started focusing here lately.
I mean, he's probably thinking right along with Clint Hurdle as well. Hey, if the pitcher spot comes up, I might have to pinch hit. So he was already loose before Jamie Burke and Clint went to him. Jamie's 1 for 5 as a pinch hitter this year. Against lefties, he's hitting .289.
On Carroll. And got a pitch to hit there. Fastball out over the plate. 1-2.
This is where having a guy like Jamie Carroll is so valuable up at the plate, because he chokes up, he goes the other way, can foul off some tough pitches, make the pitcher work a little bit. He tries to bury a breaking pitch. A lot's on Jason Kendall as a catcher to try to block it.
And Carroll keeps the bat going. 1-2 on Jamie.
Pitcher spot for the Cubs due up second next inning. Mike Wirtz is out in the bullpen warming up. Their 6th or 7th inning guy.
Carroll drives one high in the air to deep left field. Merton going back, looking up, it's gone. Grand slam, Jamie Carroll. How do you like that? For Jamie, his 2nd home run of the year. What a time for it. First career slam. .6-2 Colorado.
And what a shot in the arm this is for the Rockies. You see that Jason Kendall wanted the ball elevated, just didn't get it high enough, and Jamie says, you come in there, I'm going to make you pay. Not a guy that hits a lot of home runs, but take a look at Josh Fogg.
He's willing it over the wall. Did it go out? Hop had to slap him on the backside, say, yeah, it went out. Hop knows all about home runs.
Let's give some credit now to Josh Fogg and the way he battled after that first inning. I mean, this guy just threw an outstanding ball game.
37 pitches in the first inning. Rockies are not done here in the sixth. Kaz Matsui with a base hit up the middle, his second hit of the night. Jamie Carroll, a pinch hit grand slam. Boy, did the Rockies offense ever need that. And the fans that have been pouring out the last 3 days, finally something to get up and get excited about.
So with 2 outs, that's another backbreaker. Now take a look one more time from Jamie Carroll, choked up on the bat. Merton's going back, and you wonder, does it have enough? Does it have enough? Fan out there in left field says, I got it.
That fan,
oh,
you know what? He's excited for himself. He's excited that Carroll hit the slam.
Way to go, Jamie.
And that is all for Rich Hill. Rockies chase him here in the sixth. Rockies lead at 6-2 because Jamie Carroll comes off the bench and hits a grand slam. And Josh Fogg, after giving up a run in the first inning, a 37-pitch first inning, was terrific from that point on. Fogg a chance to win a baseball game, and Jamie Carroll is in the middle of it offensively. Today's call in the bullpen brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. Michael Wirtz working to Troy Tulowitzki. First pitch missed. Runner going, and Matsui has this one stolen easily. Number 21 for Kazuo Matsui.
And now 0 for 27 for Jason Kendall behind the plate. A nice steal from Kaz. He knew he was going to go on the first 1 or 2 pitches. Slider down. He has that stolen easily.
I shorted him a back. It's 22 now. 2-0, and that is a swinging strike, 2-1. Michael Wirtz has been very good. He has stranded 27 of the 29 runners he has inherited this year in the league. Huey hitting just .236 against him. They have some nice arms in that bullpen.
Only his teammate Carlos Marmol has stranded more runners, and the guy in Wirtz, he's going to throw you slider after slider after slider.
This is smoked through the hole, deflected by DeRosa. Matsui will score easily. Tulowitzki makes it 7-2. And now that Rocky offense back on track. And the book is shut on Rich Hill. It was pretty for 5 innings. It got real ugly in the 6th. The chapter he'd like to forget. 7 runs in 5 2/3 against Rich Hill.
The offense just woke up, and all these runs have been scored with 2 outs. First a grand slam, now after the steal, Kaz getting into scoring position. Nice stroke by Tulowitzki past the diving DeRosa to drive in the 5th run.
Holiday pops it up on the right side. Fontenot going out, and that will end the inning. But what a productive inning for the Rockies. 5 runs come around, and the Rockies lead at 7-2. Jamie Carroll's first career grand slam, a pinch hit slam.
So you got the interview. It's on my...
(7-2) they lead. Jamie Carroll swinging that bat, getting a chance to play some defense. He'll come in for the rookie Ian Stewart at 3rd base. And we have a pitching change. The call to the bullpen brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. After 6 sharp innings from Josh Fogg, he'll give way to Jeremy Affeldt.
Jeremy's 55th ball game on the year. The only guy that's had more is Manny Corpus. He's done an outstanding job. That opponent's batting average against 213, excuse me. This guy's done an outstanding job in his last 8 innings, allowing 0 runs.
Here's Felix Pie. And I don't think he's going to like a lot of what he sees from Jeremy Affeldt.
No, I'm not sure a lot of lefties like to face Jeremy Affeldt, especially a guy like PA who hasn't seen him before. In that series,
you know what? I don't care if you were playing in Iowa a few weeks ago or if you've been in the big leagues for 20 years. That's not any fun. As hard as he throws that breaking pitch. Or left-handed bat.
Yeah, the 93-mile-an-hour fastball that preceded that.
And PA on 3 pitches, he was overmatched. He's got first out of the inning. Let's go back to the Chevy Sports Desk. Mark Stout has an update on the Dodgers.
Well, Drew, I guess Rick Ankiel, the outfielder, is for real. This is his 2nd home run, and the Cardinals win today. He has 3 since being recalled.
How about that?
Good for him.
We
talked about it the other night.
And he's still, Huey, we were just discussing this during the commercial break. He's still a kid.
Well, you think about when he was up as a pitcher, 21, 22 years old. Now he's 26, 27. Ronnie Cedeno pinch hitting for Mike Wirtz on the year. Ronnie's 1 for 6 with 1 home run, 1 RBI.
Ground ball to Tulowitzki, the hop you like. 2 outs. And Cedeno is retired, and that'll bring up Ryan Theriot. Big attaboy again to Josh Fogg. The way this thing started, the Rockies had lost 2 in a row at home. They were ugly ball games from Colorado's perspective. And then 2 quick outs, and you end up going 37 pitches. You're dancing around trying to hold it to 1 run in that first inning. And from that point on, he put his foot down.
Well, you know, the next 5 innings, somewhere in the neighborhood of 48, 49 pitches.
You know, the final line, the final line's real good. 6 innings, 2 runs on 5 hits, walked a couple and struck out a couple.
Well, the 2 walks came in the first inning. And after that, he settled down, got in a nice groove, started to pitch like we've seen from Josh Fogg this second half of the season.
On the outside corner, 1-1.
Sean Gallagher, the rookie, is up and tossing in the Cubs bullpen now that Cedeno has pinch hit for Mike Wirtz.
Curveball's low. By the way, that grand slam by Jamie Carroll. A couple of notes on that. First pinch hit grand slam for a Rockies player since September of 2004 when Mark Sweeney did it against the Giants. And of course, Sweeney just was traded from the Giants to the Dodgers. It is also the 6th grand slam for the Rockies this year. That's a new team record.
Wow. Oh.
You want to say it with me? Where was that?
Okay. You just don't see on the big league level pitchers showing the umpire up or showing any emotion at all. And when you're around the strike zone and you think you're going to get that. Ontario didn't like that pitch because he thought it was up. A loose barking at Marvin Hudson.
But the reason you're getting this kind of flack if you're Marvin Hudson is because there's been inconsistency in the strike zone. Theriot with a single to right field. And that'll get Jock Jones to the plate.
Make sure that you get Jock Jones. You have the 5-run lead, but you don't want to give the Cubs an opportunity to get back into this ball game, and then you have Derek Lee on deck. Jones has not had much success against Affeldt in his career. 2 for 15 at the time that Jock was with Minnesota, and of course Jeremy with Kansas City.
Jock hadn't had a lot of success against the Rockies until this series. He was 7 for 35 against the Rockies all time until the last couple of days, and he's 7 for 13 in the series. 7-2 Colorado leading. Here's the 0-1 to Jones. That's 1-1.
About a month ago, he was relegated to the 4th and 5th outfield duty. They were talking about trying to trade him. Nobody would want to take him. And a couple injuries with Soriano. Got an opportunity to go back out there and woke up the bat.
And here's a base hit. It's been an odd game, Huey. Every time the Rockies get 2 quick outs, seems like the Cubs then put hits together.
Now they have to shut the door. They got to put their foot down here and not let the momentum shift back to the other dugout. O'Neill, the head trainer for the Cubs, talking to Lou Piniella. With Derek Lee, you have to make sure that you either work him away to get him out onto his front side, or you really pound him in with that fastball. Don't let him get his arms extended.
Curveball on the outside corner.
Perfect location, and that was the pitch I was talking about. If you're going to go away, because of the open stance of Derek Lee, work him away or fire that cutter in on his hands.
Another good curveball.
Right back out there again. Same pitch, try to do it in the same location. 77-mile-an-hour curveball. Nice finish. You see Jeremy get out onto that front side. Got the outside part of the plate right on the black. Go right back out there again.
That was the idea. 1 and 2.
I like that. Until you prove that he can get out there and get the umpire's call, and he's already had a couple looks at it.
Runners going, and everybody moves up. Terrio to third, Jock Jones to second. Two and two on Derek Lee. 2 outs in the top of the 7th. And Lee has worked it full.
Not surprising numbers from Derek Lee. 355. He's been an all-star.
He's a tremendous hitter. He's a guy that's gotten better and better. He's battled some injuries the last couple of years, but ball 4. And now they're loaded up for Matt Merton. And if you're Clint Hurdle, do you go bring Julio in, go right on right, ask him to pick up 4 outs? Julio's been throwing.
He's ready to go, and you look down the lineup. You have Merton, who's right-handed, DeRosa, who's right-handed, and then Fontenot. You got to go righty on right. And that's exactly what Clint Hurdle's going to do. Go get Jorge Julio and get the 3rd out here in the 7th inning.
So Julio will come on for Affelt, and the bases are loaded. Seven to 2. There are 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning, but the bases are loaded. Matt Merton, the cleanup hitter for the Cubs, who has a couple of home runs in this series, is coming up, and Jorge Julio will be asked to retire him.
Jorge's done a nice job in a Colorado Rockies uniform there, 0-1 with a 2.81 ERA. He's been scored upon in his last 8 games, covering 7 1/3 innings.
Worked a scoreless inning last night, struck out 2. Slider.
Nice.
I like that thinking too at Torrealba, because Merton knows he throws very hard. He's going to be sitting right on that fastball. First pitch swinger, typically.
Young hitter, veteran pitcher out on the mound, veteran catcher behind the plate.
And he goes back to it. A textbook job of blocking the pitch by Torrealba.
And that's where Jorge has to have the confidence in Yorvit that he's going to go down there. I can go ahead and bury that slider, that I know that it's not going to get between his legs. He'll do everything he can to block it, to have the confidence to throw that pitch. the same page. It looks like Jorvic's calling for the slider away. I like what they're doing here. Let's make sure we're together on this, because ultimately it's a pitcher that has the ball that has to decide what he wants to throw. Jorvic can go out there and overrule him or say, okay, let's go. If that's what you want to throw, throw it.
One ball, one strike. He went to the slider again, and it's 1-2. Now you zip him.
Oh, I got to throw another slider again. He's thrown an outstanding slider, and each time it's been a little bit harder. The last one was 85. I'll go right back to that slider again. Go fastball away.
This could be a tough chance. Carroll leaps to first. Out at first base. Good pickup by Atkins. That's going to get Lou Piniella out of the dugout. And he's going to go and visit with Chris Ciccione. Bang, bang play at first. The Rockies get the call. It remains 7-2.
FSN.
Watch this play at first base again. Merton bounces it off the plate. Carroll doesn't leap. It's not going to be even close. But you know what? Merton beat that play.
He did. He got it by about a half a step. Nice pick from Garrett Atkins to get out there. First time starting at first base. On Hyundai cam, you can see Merton's left foot get there before the ball went into Garrett's glove. And
true to his word, you know, back on June 3rd, after that tirade that Lou had, and a lot of people attribute the Cubs run to, you know, Lou's pyrotechnics that evening, and he said, I'm done with those displays of anger on the field, and I'm not going to put on any more shows. And he went out and he argued with Chris Ciccione, and he turned around and he went back to the dugout.
Started to a little bit and didn't get animated like he can, and went back.
Yeah, I think everybody in the crowd was waiting for Lou to go ballistic.
You know, first of all, he's talking to Matt Sinatra, his longtime friend and first base coach. Chris, I didn't see it that way.
Here's Atkins back live, line drive to left field, and Merton will glove it. Lou's one of the great characters of the game. He was a tremendous player, and he's a colorful guy as a manager. Nice man, and he's won a ton of baseball games. He's had great success, and he does it his way.
He does, and I played for him with the Mariners back in 1998, and he was just as fiery then as he is now. He might have toned it down just a little bit after that last blow up. Having to sit for a few games in timeout. He truly cares about his players.
I asked, remember last night, they had a little bit of a lead early on, and Jason Marquis up with a runner at first base. You have a great sinker baller and Aaron Cook on the hill. This is bounce foul off the bat of Spilborg. And everybody's thinking, he's got a bunt here. He wants to, at the very least, stay out of the double play. I mean, we know that Marquis could swing the bat some. And he said, you know, I was thinking about it, and I was saying, maybe we should let him hit. He goes, but I wasn't sure, so that's why I have a bench coach. And I asked Trammell. I said, Tram, what should we do here? So let him hit. He goes, so we let him hit.
Well, sometimes managing is just by feel. And then when you have a guy like Trammell, who's played for as long as he has and also managed, nice guy to rely on. Sometimes you need confirmation.
I mean, but usually a manager will say, no, the whole way, you know, I wanted to, here's why, and A, B, and C. He goes, I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I asked Trammell. He said, let him hit. So we let him hit. Billboard's
like
good hack there to 94-mile-an-hour heater. And there's the great Alan Trammell.
Boy, how about he and Lou Whitaker? Sweet Lou.
Those were the good old
19
days.
years for the Tigers.
Yeah. Those were the good old days when you didn't have to look, okay, who did we pick up in free agency? Who did we trade for? Who's our middle infield? Alan Trammell and Lou Whitaker.
Always.
You could bank on it.
It was fun to play against those guys. Even today, talking to Trammell before the ball game. Just such a nice man.
Ball four, Spilborgs reaches for the third time. 2 for 3 and a walk for Ryan.
Every night we do the keys to the ball game. Let's take a look to see how it's played out so far. Don't fall behind early. Pretty nice. Tied 2-2 unlike the first two nights. Jock Jones only 1 for 4 in the last inning. Just got the single. And that's the one I like, the last one. Jamie Carroll, the big grand slam. Bring back the bats that they had in the Brewers series. Not too bad on the keys of the ball game tonight.
Sure, Brad Hopp is thrilled Rich Hill's gone.
Well, he's got the right-hander in Sean Gallagher, 12th round pick of the Cubs in the 04 draft. Gallagher fastball, big overhand curveball, changeup. It's his third stint with the big league club.
Here's where Troy Hawkins throwing. The pitcher spot is 2 doors down. In the air to deep left field. This has got a chance to get out, and it will. Opposite field, 2-run home run for Brad Hopp. Just a towering fly ball that got on out of here. And for Hopp, his 21st big fly of the year. It's 9-2 Rockies.
You were right, Drew. Nobody was happier than Brad Hopp when Rich Hill left the ball game. The fastball from Sean Gallagher drives it the other way with the leg kick, gets his hands in the position. You know what Brad works on all the time is getting extension and leverage, and that's what he got. Hit the ball over the head of Matt Burton.
Torrealba takes ball one. Willie Taveras has come out on deck to hit for Jorge Julio.
Well, you think about it. You don't want to burn Barmas because he's your last infielder in case something happens. Jamie Carroll's already in the ball game, and Todd Helton, you won't try to keep him from having to play tonight. Cam, we talk about extension and leverage for Brad Hopp, and you can see the full out extension of those arms, the head down, the drive with that top hand. And that generates the whip.
4, so Torrealba draws his second walk of the night. He's been on 3 times. Larry Rothschild again to the mound. 9-2 Colorado. Chevy offers more choices of flex fuel vehicles than anyone. When you drive any of these Chevy flex fuel vehicles, you can help reduce greenhouse emissions and reduce our dependency on foreign oil. Good for the environment, good for the economy, good for Colorado. Chevy, made for Colorado. There has not been official word yet as to who will throw for the Rockies tomorrow. Clint Hurdle said before the game that they'll make an announcement after the game. There's speculation that it could be Tim Hurricola, who was just signed by the Rockies and threw in Colorado Springs, 6 scoreless in his last outing, and his turn is scheduled to come up for Colorado Springs tomorrow, but we'll find out after the ball game, so make sure you tune into the post-game show.
Seems like the logical choice. And then with the off day on Monday, you can reshuffle your staff a little bit if you need to.
Two 2-0 on Willie Taveras.
See that 7-run lead. It's been a while.
It's nice to see a 7-run lead. It's nice to see 9 on the board after the last couple of days where the Rockies struggled offensively.
Mentioned the off day on Monday and then the road trip to San Diego, LA. It's every series or game from here on out is just as important as the last one you play.
Yeah, I mean, you're inclined to say, hey, this is a big series. This is, you know, they're all big at this point in time because there's a dwindling number of games and you're playing catch up.
Well, the teams in your own division that are ahead of you, not only for the league but for the wild card.
And here's what's coming up after the afternoon affair with the Cubs. Day off Monday, and then it's 3 in San Diego and 3 out at Dodger Stadium. 3-2. Torrealba at first with 1 out, and Willie fouls it off again. And it's a night you can make up some ground. The Dodgers have already lost 6-1 to St. Louis. Cards led again by Rick Ankiel's pair of home runs. Cincinnati beat San Diego 8-3 tonight. And Arizona is leading 1-0 in the 9th inning. Webb has you know what? Webb has not given up a run in a long period of time. Derek Lee's going to make this catch. He's not quite in Oral Hershiser and Don Drysdale territory yet, but he is approaching 30 innings, I believe, of shutout baseball.
That's why he won a Cy Young Award.
He wasn't Brandon Webb sharp the first half of the season, but since the All-Star break, he's been unhittable. 66 and 51 for the Diamondbacks, and I remind you, they are minus 21 in run differential. And you say, well, what difference does that make? They don't add them all up. It's just very, very unusual to see a team that has scored that much fewer runs than their opponent anywhere near 500, much less 15 games above.
Well, you think they'd be at least at 500, but it's all because of their pitching.
Yeah, their bullpen has been terrific. Tony Pena, Valverde closing. Here's our Sonic Good replay of the ball game. It has to be the swing of the bat at Jamie Carroll. A 2-out pinch hit grand slam in a game that was tied at 2. Our Sonic play of the day. Jamie's behind 0-2. He now has gone, speaking of Brandon Webb, 32 1/3 innings without giving up a run. was foul and out of play.
Milwaukee's leading Houston. I'm sure the Cubs are watching that scoreboard. The official magazine of the Colorado Rockies has a new look and new features this month. Read about Kaz, Rodrigo Lopez, and catch up with former Rocky Dante Bichette. You can get your magazine here at Coors Field or any Rockies dugout store. Call 303 Rockies to start a subscription soon.
Webb is pitching with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Leading 1-0. He's given up 5 hits. Arizona has 4 hits, but they have the only run. Torrealba on the 3-2 pitch and 2 outs moving. He'll come back to first.
All he needs is a little extra running.
Yeah. He was showing us his forearms earlier tonight around the cage at batting practice. They're black and blue all over. It's about right for a catcher in mid-August. Ball 4, Carroll to first, and Torrealba to second, and that'll bring up Kaz Matsui, who has a single and a double tonight.
Cubs trailing 9-2, 2 outs. Sean Gallagher, their long man. Lou Pinella's just going to have to leave him out there. Sink or swim, son. Here you go.
Well, he said before the ball game he's going to stay away from Marmol. He said hopefully through the weekend get him 3 straight days off. He'd like to stay away from Howry.
Well, you're not going to bring in Kerry Wood.
Yeah, you're not going to bring in Kerry Wood. I mean, these are, you know, so it's Gallagher's game, and when you're down by 7 runs.
Why you have a long guy out in the bullpen.
Yeah. It is a final now. Arizona, a 1-0 shutout for Brandon Webb. They're now 17 games over 500.
And how many innings? 33 innings
without giving up a run.
He's got error up and tossing.
I said 17, 16 games over 500, 67 and 51. Foul tip, 1 and 2.
You look at the club ranks for their pitching, and that's the reason why compared to where they are in hitting. And they're almost last in the league in batting average, 11th out of 16 teams in runs scored with their pitching, the 2nd in the league in saves.
Back up the middle, and there's no way they're going to get Kaz. Mike Fontenot did a nice job to get to the baseball for Matsui. That's his 3rd hit of the ball game. And the bases are loaded for Troy Tulowitzki.
Kaz hit that ball off the end of the bat, kind of like a serve in tennis where you just backhand it. Nice play from Fontenot. With Kaz's speed, you stand no chance. Fontenot ranged far to his left, cut in front of Terrio, had to throw off balance, but would have been better off just to hold the baseball.
Tulowitzki 3 singles tonight. That's a strike. Troy with 3 RBIs in the series.
In the first 2 games of this series, there were only 4 RBIs. He had 2 of them. Jeff Baker, Ryan Spilborghs had the other ones.
And he's got a 4-hit night. He's going to pick up 2 more RBIs. Carroll trailing Torrealba. It's 11-2 Colorado. 4 runs here in the 7th for the Rockies.
Well, we're starting to see that Rockies vaunted offense. A slider from Gallagher. Left it up, and Troy just made it pay. Right back up the middle is Torrealba, who had walked, and Jamie Carroll, who had walked. Both come in to score.
And Lou is taking a long walk to the mound. So he's going to go and get Gallagher if he gets there.
That is a slow walk.
He's got air. May beat Lou to the mound.
He's halfway there.
11. Bottom of the 7th inning, and the Rockies aren't done yet. 2 on from Matt Holliday. Our Xcel Energy fun fact: since the Cubs' last World Series win back in 1908, Halley's Comet has passed the Earth twice. There have been 2 world wars.
A lot of things have happened.
Holliday 1 for 3 and a walk tonight. Matsui at second. Tulowitzki is at first. And Scott Air, the former Giant, misses inside.
This is his 11th big league season. The 2nd time he's been with the Cubs. Beginning this season of 2007, he has the most appearances by any left-hander since the 02 season. This guy is a durable, valuable guy. The only lefty, though, that Lou Piniella has out in his pen.
Speaking of lefties, Brian Fuentes threw a scoreless inning last night for Colorado Springs. Everything went well. And he will get another inning. There's Tito. He will get another inning of work if everything stays on schedule tomorrow.
Yep.
And then perhaps we will see Fuentes back with the big club on the road trip.
How nice is that to have a guy, as we talked about it a couple times, have a guy like that you can slide into your bullpen. It's like making a trade. He's been out for a month, and now all of a sudden you got a guy. Of course, Corpus is doing well. I think Clint will stick with him for a while. Slide Tito back into the 7th or 8th inning, and followed up with Corpus. Pretty strong bullpen now with the way Affeld's been throwing. Of course, with Troy Hawkins and Jorge Julio.
Yeah, Julio's been terrific. 1-2 fouled off. I said it before and I'll say it again, with getting Fuentes back, who's been out for more than a month, if he were a guy that was on the open market along with Dotel and Eric Gagne, he would have been the most coveted of those 3. Dotel just went on the disabled list with Atlanta today and did not pitch particularly well after the trade from Kansas City. And Holiday's gone. And Gagne gave up 4 last night. That's one ball game. I understand that. But Rockies will welcome back Brian Fuentes with open arms. Hop a 2-run home run, 2 more from a Tulowitzki hit. 11. Nightly highlight show is here. The FSN Final Score. It's the only national show that gives you nothing but wall-to-wall highlights. The FSN Final Score tonight at 10:30 p.m. on FSN Rocky Mountain. Troy Hawkins takes over for the Rockies ahead 11-2. Mark DeRosa will lead it off for the Cubs.
Hawks just really pitching well of late in the last 4 innings. His 4 appearances, 0 runs since he's come back from the DL. 2.51 ERA.
Strike 1 on Mark DeRosa. So Hawkins pitching against his former club. The knees 0-2.
Since the All-Star break, best ERA in the National League belongs to the Colorado Rockies at 3.58. The Cubs are next, then Atlanta, the Mets.
And for all the talk about the offense, isn't that something?
It really is. You think about all those clubs. Atlanta 3rd, the New York Mets 4th, Arizona's 5th. Every single one of those clubs, for good reason, is in a playoff race.
Here's been the tough thing to swallow from the Rockies' perspective. They're 3 games over 500 since the All-Star break, and yet they've lost a half a game in the standings, and they're not going to gain anything tonight because Arizona has already won 1-0.
Arizona's what, 14 out of their 17. But that's where you have to just continually go out there and worry about what you can control. What can we do tonight? We can go out there, try to win a ball game. Can't do a whole lot of scoreboard watching at this point. I mean, yeah, you're looking at it, but you still have to make sure that you take care of business on your end.
Well, they'll catch the Dodgers again, and when you're behind 3 teams, you got to catch them one at a time. That's not all going to happen on the same day. Tulowitzki throws out DeRosa. That'll bring up Mike Fontenot. In the National League, again, the Cardinals beat the Dodgers tonight 6-1. Braden Looper got his 10th win. Derek Lowe is now 8-11. He took the loss. Rick Ankiel, 2 more home runs. Pittsburgh beat up the Giants 13-3. Armas the win. Tim Lincecum the loss. He's now 6-3. LaRoche is 17th. Freddie Sanchez is 7th. The Giants got a home run from Randy Wynn, his 7th. Fouled off by Fontenot. Cincinnati beat the Padres. That helps the Rockies as well. 8-3 the final. Livingston the win. Justin Hampson took the loss for the Padres, the former Rocky. Brian Giles, a home run yesterday, 2 more today. He's up to 5.
He used to hit 5 in a week.
Different player now, especially at Petco. Lifted foul and out of play. Atlanta beat Philadelphia 7-5. Mahey the victory. Eaton takes the loss. Wickman got his 19th save. Jeff Francoeur having a big year. He's hitting over 300. His 14th home run. Kelly Johnson is 13th for the Braves. Jimmy Rollins is 21st. Aaron Rowan his 19th.
Rollins has 21. Wow.
Isn't that something? Well, last year he hit the mid-20s.
Yep. He's a solid player.
Pocket rocket. Milwaukee beat Houston 7-4. Prince Fielder is 36th. Ryan Braun, you heard of him?
No, once.
Yeah?
Yep.
He hit his 22nd. Florida beat the Mets again, so Atlanta picks up a game on New York. 7-5 the final there. 1-2.
Mets are struggling.
Mets are struggling. Glavine was on the hill. Willingham is 18th for Florida. David Wright, 2 more home runs. He's got 22. And Webb with his 12th win tonight. 33 consecutive scoreless innings.
Is he 12-8 now?
Yes, he is. 12-8. On the ground to Kaz Matsui. 2 outs. Well, we've been telling you that the crowds have been outstanding the last couple of weeks in home ball games, and particularly the last few days. 40+ thousand the last 2. And the official attendance tonight, 49,704, a sellout. Great to see. And they were rewarded.
I think that's what they're happy about, too. You come to the ball game, you're expecting some fireworks from your home team. They got it tonight, none bigger than that swing of the bat from Jamie Carroll.
Jason Kendall 1 for 3. And a line drive right at Matsui. That's all for the Cubs in the top of the 8th. Colorado leading Chicago 11-2 on a beautiful night in front of a sellout crowd at Coors Field.
Your flight attendants will be.
Hoskins to face Scott Air, and he takes strike one. Garrett tonight 0 for 4. Garrett had his 10-game hitting streak snapped last night. Was 0 for 3 in a walk. Rockies up 11-2. Game was tied at 2 when Jamie Carroll pinch hit back in the 6th inning with the bases loaded and 2 outs, and proceeded to hit a line drive over the left field wall for his first career grand slam. Just his 2nd pinch hit all year. It's only the 6th time he's been asked to pinch hit.
With Ryan Spilborghs getting a lot of those.
This ball to right center field. PA a long run, and he gets there. One out as we take a look at the Quest in-game box. Matsui 3 hits. Tulowitzki a 4-hit day. Holliday's got a hit. Spilborghs, Opp, 2-run home run last inning. It's all good right now.
It is. You won't see many 0 for 5 nights from Garrett either.
But you know what? When you're up 11-2, if you're going to throw one out there, let it be that night when everybody else hit. So there's going to be a lot of nights that Atkins picks everybody else up.
As a hitter, you can certainly feel a lot better when you go home tonight, even though you went 0 for 5. Your club won by, or is winning right now by 9.
Two on Spilborghs. Well, the Rockies 3 outs away from ending a 6-game losing streak to the Chicago Cubs, which dates to last year.
The first 2 games of the series just didn't stand a chance either. He fell behind early and he's downhill.
That's a major league error. That's an easy play for Terrio. I mean, you're charging, you have a hop waist high.
You're not going to get an easier hop than that one. Ryan Terrio makes his 7th error of the season. That's just the lack of concentration. Down by 9. You don't look it all the way in. Hits off the heel of your glove. Just plain and simple. Had an opportunity. He took a chance. It just didn't go in his glove from the Hyundai Cam. He slow it down. Closed his glove just a little bit too soon.
Hop a 2-run home run last time up after striking out 3 times against Rich Hill. Opposite field, towering home run. Hop is so strong, he can hit it out from foul pole to foul pole, and he doesn't have to get it right in the middle of the sweet spot.
Well, how many balls have we seen him hit out to dead center field as well? But that's where the leverage comes from.
This is a base hit down the right field line. Spilborghs heading to third. It's going to go around the corner, and Spilborghs going to come all the way home. And Brad Hopp's going to have a stand-up triple. 12-2 Colorado. 3rd triple for Hop. 3 RBI night. Game was pretty ugly from an offensive standpoint for Brad Hop if you talk to him through the first 6 innings. Now he's got a home run, a triple, and 3 ribbies.
Well, that's why you grind it out. You just sit there and keep grinding. The first 3 at-bats of the ball game were not pretty. 1 looking, 2 swing, and then he had the home run. It's starting to feel a little bit better, and then the triple off of air. Another lefty driving in Spilborghs.
1 out. Torrealba will take his turn. Torrealba, and this one eats up Mark DeRosa. If the Cubs could put up a white flag right now, they would.
The mercy rule. Just like you have in youth baseball. But that ball was hit hard, and they're going to give Torrealba a base hit. And not much DeRosa could do on that ball. Once he started to back up a little bit, see him creeping in, but the one hopper, the next one just ate him up. Stood no chance in between Hop. And Barmas is now going to pinch hit for the Troy Hawkins.
Third at bat for Barmes since returning to the big leagues.
Ryan Spire was up tossing earlier in the bullpen, sat back down now, but he'll be back out there.
Barmes drives one to deep left field. Merton going back, and this is off the wall. Barmes to second. Torrealba to third. Clint Barmes with a double. 16 hits for the Rockies. It did not look in the middle of this ball game like it was going to be a laugher. That's what it's turned into. I mean, it was a 2-2 ball game. Hill and Fogg were pitching very well.
That's how offenses get to rolling. Hitting's contagious, and it is certainly right now for the Rockies. Barmes, with the different stance that he had earlier, just misses a home run by a couple feet. Nice to see Clint Barmes come back up and get a base hit.
Absolutely. The guy who started it is at the plate, Jamie Carroll, that grand slam.
Hard to imagine it was a 2-2 ball game in the bottom of the sixth.
With 2 outs.
Yeah. That's right. All 5 runs were scored with 2 outs. Hey, on September 12th, the Colorado Rockies Charity Fund, a fund of the McCormick Tribune Foundation, will be hosting the 2007 Hal O'Leary Awards Dinner. This dinner is in honor of many individuals that go above and beyond to create awareness for people with disabilities. For more information, call 303-31.
That's a strike, 1-1. Carroll on 3 occasions had driven in 3 runs in a game in his big league career. Tonight, 5 RBIs.
It'll be a while before Jamie wipes that smile off his face for good reason.
Couldn't happen to a better guy.
Oh, it could. Every single day he comes out here and just goes about his business, very professional.
1-2 on Kaz, and he lines it foul. Speaking of Kaz, it's been a while since we talked about Matsui being in a slump, isn't it? Matsui's average coming into the ball game, 302. And a 3 for 5 performance has it up to 306.
That stretch after the All-Star break for a couple weeks just wasn't swinging the bat very well. Pulling off the baseball, doing a lot of things mechanically wrong with some extra work with Alan Cockrell. Watching video. Got it back to where he was earlier in the season, and now he's locked back in.
And this one is ripped foul. Some more on the Carroll 5 RBI night. He joins Atkins, Helton, and Spilborghs as the only Rockies with 5 RBIs in a ball game tonight. In a game all year. Atkins
season,
done it
right?
twice, yeah. 2007. This ball, center field, and mercifully, the inning is over for the Cubs. Rockies score 3 more times. 4 more times.
How can you change a kid's life?
taking low fares farther. Visit southwest.com. 13 runs for the Rockies in the last 3 innings. They lead it 15-2. Looking for 3 more outs. We go to the studio and Mark Stout.
Hey, Drew, after the game, we go back to the clubhouse, and we'll hear from the manager, Clint Hurdle. He is supposed to tell us who is going to start tomorrow's game against the Cubs. We'll also go around the league, update you on the NL wildcard standings, and Ryan Spilborghs continues to produce. We'll have more on number 19. It's all coming up after the game. Back to you.
All right, Mark, thanks very much. Clint Barmes in center field. He played some center field down in Colorado Springs. And I don't know if we've ever seen him in a big league game in center field.
That I can recall.
So Barmes out in center field. Ryan Spire will try to get those final 3 outs.
This is a perfect opportunity for Ryan to come in a ball game where your club is up by 13 runs. Get some work in. He's appeared in 3 out of the last 4 games. Get back to working that sinker down with the slider, throwing some quality strikes.
Well, not only is it his first appearance in center field in the big leagues, it's his first appearance in the outfield in the big leagues. But Barmes is a tremendous athlete. He originally went to junior college on a basketball scholarship. So, you know, being a super utility guy is something that a lot of people had projected Barmes for. He kind of threw that off with hard work and became the starter a couple of years ago at shortstop, really for a couple of seasons, derailed by injury. Well, Barmes is a useful guy, and you have to give Barmes a ton of credit because the disappointment of being passed by Troy Tulowitzki in the system, he went down and was so professional in Colorado Springs and did a great job working on his offense. The defense was already there. And here he is back in the big leagues helping out the club.
Well, a lot of guys could have hung their head and said, poor me, why does it happen to me? But no, Clint goes down there and I think put in a lot of good work with Carney Lansford, the hitting coach down in AAA, and Tom Runnels, the manager, getting his frame of mind back where it was earlier and realizing I have the skills to play here.
Now a base hit just over the glove of Matsui. So Felix Pie, who has a real nice housing arrangement in Chicago. He lives with Alfonso Soriano.
You're going to ride on somebody's coattails. Why not Alfonso? He had the big payday this winter, but that's also where the veteran guy takes care of the young guy.
And that's what Soriano has done with Pie.
Get our second look at the series of Eric Patterson, the younger brother of Corey, the former Cub.
You worked with Eric, did you not?
Yeah, as a infielder. He's playing some outfield now with the Cubs, but much different personality than Corey. Don't mean it in a bad way, but Eric's more outgoing. Corey was more of an introvert.
Oh, 2 on Eric Patterson. He's not quite as physically strong as
Corey,
his big brother.
Yeah, Corey has more natural athletic ability. Eric's gotten here through hard work. He has some baseball skills, but more of a hard work has got him to this level.
Patterson's a rookie. When the Cubs broke camp, when they left the Phoenix area, they had an all-veteran team. They did not have one rookie on their 25-man roster when the season began. They have now utilized 10 different rookies here in the middle of August. Atkins will get the out at first. Let's take a look at our Gatorade Player of the Game. I think it's safe to hand that award out. In a 15-2 ball game, Jamie Carroll. 2-2 ball game, 1 swing of the bat, 6-2 Colorado. And as they say, they've never looked back. Fogg had to be told it went after the park.
You know,
that swing also made a winner out of Josh Fogg.
might be the easiest Gatorade player of the game we've had this year.
Yeah, there wasn't much debate. Ryan Terrio, 1 for 4 tonight. Again, I can't say enough about the performance of Josh Fogg after a first inning in which he had to throw 37 pitches to get 3 outs and was fortunate to only give up 1 run. He pitched a beautiful game after that. And there's a lot of pressure on the 3 veteran starters for the Rockies, Francis, Cook, and Fogg, because the other 2 slots right now are occupied by either a rookie or potentially a journeyman. We won't find out till after the ball game who's going to make the start tomorrow for the Rockies.
Yeah, but nothing seems to phase Josh Fogg. He goes out there and you can't tell how he's pitching by what he looks like out on the mound. And that's where having that older guy who's been in this situation before helps.
And Carroll couldn't handle that big chopper, and Terrio reaches. That'll bring up Jock Jones.
A little hopper to Jamie's left. He has to go about 8 or 9 steps. Get off the thumb of his glove. That's a play we've seen Jamie Carroll make before. He did have to go a ways for it. Still no ruling whether they're going to give Terrio a base hit. Comes down as an error. That's a play Jamie should make, and he'll tell you he should have made it.
Jones is 1 for 4. He singled in his last at bat.
What a nice sinker, double play, 4-6-3 ball game here.
That's what I would vote for if they were polling. And 3-0. Bases are loaded. You're up by 13 runs. Bob Apodaca is going to jog out to the mound, and not that Ryan Spire's not trying to throw strikes, but saying, hey, let's throw the ball over the plate, don't nibble. We're going to hit it at somebody, and we're going to go shake hands.
Yeah, just tell him to stay back over the rubber. Ryan's rushing out. Doesn't allow the arm to catch up. And you're right, Drew, that it's just okay. Throw it over the plate, let the natural action of the ball take over, see what happens.
Derek Lee.
See if we can get Derek Lee to ground into his 6th double play of the year.
You're going to keep bringing that up,
I am
aren't you?
gonna. I mean, with the 15-2 lead.
Good spot with that fastball. 0-2. Quick American League scores. We didn't do that earlier. Boston over Baltimore 6-2. Detroit finally wins. They beat Oakland 5-2. Seattle 7-6 over the White Sox. Yankees blow out Cleveland 11-2. Kansas City, they played better. They have 4-1 tonight. They beat Toronto. 9th inning, Tampa shutting out Texas 3-0 in Arlington. In the 8th inning, Minnesota leading on the left coast 2-0 against the Angels in Orange County. 1-2, 2-2.
Angels lead down to 3.5 over Seattle. Cleveland picked up a game on Detroit. They're only a half game back now. Boston had to win to keep pace. Yankees are only 5 back.
Now Spires run a full-on lead. Two pitches here in the 9th inning with a 13-run lead.
And the other thing now is Clint had to get Matt Hergis up. He wanted to try to save the rest of his bullpen.
Well, you may get your 6-4-3. 6-4-3, and the Rockies prevail 15-2. They blow open a close ball game in the 6th inning behind the grand slam from Jamie Carroll, who goes on to drive in 5, and the Rockies snap that mini 2-game losing streak at Coors Field. They're now 4-2 on the homestand, and they're back over 500 by 4 games. 60-56 their record, same record for the Chicago Cubs. Fogg the winner, he's 7-7, 3-1 since the All-Star break. He's won 6 of 8, and the losing pitcher Rich Hill, he falls south of 500. He is now 6-7. The FSN Live postgame show starts now.